I've always had my fair share of stalkers during my years at college, as I was pretty popular amongst the people who went there. But this person, she topped a lot. She was a weird girl. She would always be staring at me during lessons, and was once even told by one of my lecturers to stop staring. It was a comical moment, but then things started to get more obsessive. Every day, for hours on end, she would message me weird things like, "How are you today? Oh my god, you look so hot!" And these would go on and on and on. These seemed innocent, somewhat. At one point, I thought I was just dealing with another obsessive girl who wasn't harming me in any way. A bit annoying, yeah, but not dangerous. After a week of these messages, they kept getting more desperate for my attention and downright insane. Messages like, "Why aren't you replying? I know you're there. Fucking answer." I had enough, so I told her to fuck off and to leave me alone. She then sent me disturbing images and drawings of me, and even a video of her burning one of them, with poorly drawn love hearts scattered around the photo. She turned her face to the camera and said, "You're gonna regret this," with the most demonic expression I've ever seen. I immediately blocked her and sat there completely in shock and paralysed with fear. The next day, things took a turn for the worst. She sat there motionless and scrawled away at a piece of paper noisily. The same lecturer who caught her staring at me went over to tell her to be quiet, when she stopped still face down. There was silence. He leaned over on her desk and said, "Thank you," sarcastically. She looked up at him menacingly and plunged the pencil through his hand as he jolted back, screaming in agony. She tried again to stab him in the eye, but I and several other students restrained her and called on her teacher for support while she roared out in inhuman ways. After the struggle, she was taken away and all the students were sent home as the police took in investigations and took the girl away. A few hours passed and I was watching TV alone while my parents were still at work, when my phone rang. A panicked police officer called me up saying my name and asked if my doors and windows were locked. Before he continued, and before I could speak, he sent me an image of me drawn on a piece of paper being murdered by the lunatic stalker. This was found at my school. This utterly terrified me, and I asked why. He asked me if my doors were locked. There was a small pause, until he explained she escaped from the grip of two officers and assaulted them with a hidden knife. At that moment, I heard my back door being messed about with vigorously, and then a loud smash. I hung up the phone and sprinted up the stairs, into my parents' bedroom, hiding underneath the well-concealed bed. I laid there as I heard hysterical laughter of the girl repeating, "I'm going to find you. I know where you are. You will be killed slowly." I covered my mouth to muffle my cries as I was so sure I was going to die. I could hear her scraping a knife across the walls of my house, getting closer and closer. The door opened and she laughed out. "I found you," she said, giggling. She circled the room, searching. The seconds that went by felt like hours as I saw her feet pass by the bed. I saw her crouch, and my heart stopped. Before she could look under the bed, I finally heard the sounds of police sirens in the distance. This angered the girl as she screamed out, "No! I will not allow this!" She ran out the room and ran down the stairs. As police entered the house, I could hear screams and struggling, until I heard a final zap of electricity. I emerged out of my parents' room, crying as my mom and dad sprinted to me from the hallway of my home into my arms. This is when I saw the girl for the last time. In person, anyway. The girl faced me one last time as I was cradled in my parents' arms. She made one last comment. "Don't forget me," she said while laughing hysterically once again. I couldn't sleep for days. I cried myself to sleep as my fears finally went away. I already said I've never seen her, but I see her in my dreams, haunting me. I will never forget that face. I still get stalked to this day, but never to an extent like that. This is an experience I will never forget.